G'day guys, how we going? Week 1, and this is probably about take fucking 4 or 5 at this point, to be honest. It's getting fucking ridiculous. Anyway, let's see if I can somehow get through this some sort of podcast and get something up for you to watch. It's been pretty frustrating, actually. Week 1. Quick little PSA to everybody. Don't forget your tips and your survivor this week. Tips due before the game kicks off tomorrow. Obviously, just for that game, you don't have to have all tips in. If you are choosing Philly as your survivor, you will need it in there before the game kicks off tomorrow. Which I think is like 10:20, 10:30 sort of area. So, not much else to add. Anyway, well, I'll try and get into this because I don't have much trust in this actually working. So, let's move some stuff around here. Just switch the fucking mic off. God, Jesus Christ. I want to get rid of that, and that one. There we go. Beautiful. Too many little icons on my screen there to click on. Alright, here we go. Just need everything to hold together. Just for a few minutes. Well, probably more than a few minutes. Yeah, once again. Tips, everything can be put in. As you can see here, people have already done some. I'm assuming people have already put tips in. Let's have a look at the games, eh? Alright. According to Fantasy Sharks, my fantasy league, Fantasy Sharks as they use for their predictions, they've got David listed as a favourite up against Jared in the first game, in what they call the game of the week for the first week. Head to head, David holds a 3-0 record against Jared. And they are tipping David to win 20 points is a fairly comfortable margin generally for these guys, so they obviously feel like David's team's a fair bit better. I don't necessarily agree. I don't think there's an enormous amount between the two teams, to be honest. I don't think there is between most teams in this league. So I think it'll be a close game. I was actually leaning to Jared slightly, not by a lot. Well, once again, I said everything. Most of the teams are pretty damn close. So. Let's see if I can. Oops. Just playing with the camera a little bit. Nearly on big head mode there. Anyway. Everything looks like it's still functioning. Yeah, alright. Yeah, so I was leaning slightly to Jared to actually get his first ever win against David in this league. So, who'd have thunk it? Second game, we got the Providence Steamrollers up against the Akron Pros. Kenneth up against Joey. Lifetime, Joey holds a 3-2 record against Kenneth. And Fantasy Sharks have got Kenneth as a slight favourite. Yeah, I was actually torn on this game. I don't know which way to go on this. I was leaning maybe slightly to Joey, but yeah, this was David and Joey to actually win the league. I thought Joey was probably around about the same level as my team, sort of on that fringe Titan Bowl potential team. I didn't think either one of us really. Didn't think either one of us were really a chance of winning the league, but yeah, we'll see. Trying to predict this stuff's pretty tough. Hence the reason why I have stopped doing my ratings and so forth. It's not worth the crap that comes your way when you do it. So, all for a bit of fun. Look, I think Kenneth has to get off to a good start, just in case. Whatever, he's got to hope that Christian McCaffrey can. It'd be great for him if he stays healthy for the entire season. I don't know if that will be the case or not. And I'm sure he would love Travis Hunter to get out there and play a bit of defense. I did see he's listed as a backup corner. That's fair. I'm sure he'll still get. He'll still get some time on the defensive side of the ball anyway. Whether he's starting there or not. So, very interesting that he doesn't have Ashton Genty in his starting lineup. What the fuck, Kenneth? Actually, now that I look at this, what are you fucking doing? You move up to get Ashton Genty, and you start Aaron Jones over Ashton Genty. I suggest you have a look at this podcast, man. You need to start. Ashton Genty has to be in your starting lineup, and I don't care who you find to get out of your starting lineup to put him in, but he has to be in there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, I'm gonna change my mind here. I'm gonna lead the Kenneth's team, but on the proviso that he actually puts Ashton Genty into his starting lineup, he definitely needs to be there. I think I like Kenneth's team slightly overall more than Joey's, but mate, there's fuck all in it. So, as there will be in most of these games. I think both of them are a decent chance to actually get a win this week, with the 2-win setup, obviously. Try not to fuck around here too much because I don't have a lot of faith in this video holding up. Canton Bulldogs against the Staten Island Stapletons. Jakey up against myself. Jake has a 4-1 lifetime record against me. The only win I have against him is week 1 last season when I'm pretty sure we both went like absolute shit. Mine was just slightly better. Notoriously, I have been an extremely slow starter in this league, and I don't have a lot of faith that that's not going to be the case again. Only this time, I don't think there's... If I start slow, I don't think I get out of it. So, I hope I don't start slow. I guess is what I'm saying. Jake's... I think Jake was the most popular team in our predictions to win the league. He hasn't yet won the league, but the team that's beaten him in his final game of the season, whether it be the final or qualifying final, has actually won the league. So he lost to David in year 1. David went on to win the title and lost to Pat in the title game last year. So sure Jake would be hoping that he can go one step better this year. Who knows? If he does, said a lot of people will get that part of the predictions right anyway. And for myself, I view my team as very much a fringe Titan Bowl playoff team at best. And of course, I'd get a phone call at this point. I can't fucking win with this fucking thing this afternoon. I'm not answering it. It's just going to ring through. Fuck, where am I? Fucking hell. Oh, I need to find it. I need to get a camera, I think. This is ridiculous. It works fine having the mobile as a camera for the last couple of years, but it has been pretty toxic this afternoon. Yeah, once again, I think Jake wins the game. Jake probably gets 2 wins. I think his team's good enough to get the 2 wins this week. And I will likely end up with fucking sweet fuck all, if I'm being honest. Yeah. I know Chase has got a good matchup, but unlike in a couple of other leagues where I was able to stack Chase with Joe Burrow, quarterback situation kind of sucks. Who knows what's going on with Stafford? He's playing, apparently. Injured, but playing. And yeah, look, until the receivers I've got sitting there outside of Chase actually show some consistent production, I don't have a great deal of faith in them. And yeah, defense, I don't know, man. That's where I think I fucked up. Some of my defense is pretty shit, in my opinion. So, yeah. Tipping Jake to win comfortably. We got Robbie up against Matt. The Eagles up against the Bears. Currently, Matt holds a 3-2 record lifetime over Robbie. And both teams, I think, would have some fairly decently high aspirations. Man. I must have breathed on the camera or something, because it's shit itself again. Hello again. It must have some... Yeah, both teams would have some pretty high aspirations in this league. Robbie's in there or thereabouts last year. Very strong starting lineup. Depth has always been Robbie's problem. I have no idea what Matt's starting lineup looks like, and I don't have time to sit here and try and work out what it's going to be. I would lean to Matt winning this game. Although... Yeah, no, I'd lean to Matt winning the game. Both teams could come away with a win regardless. I think it'll be a close-ish game anyway. So, as like I've said 100 times, most of these games will be. So, New Orleans Saints up against the Green Bay Packers. Fuck me. Last year's title winners, the Green Bay Packers, hence the reason why I've got to look at this goddamn disgusting background for the season. Never beaten the Saints. They are 0-5, or 5-0 to Spirit and his Saints. So Paddy looking to break history this week. Look at that. You wouldn't back it in, would you? I do. I don't think there's a great deal between them on offense. So the fantasy guys just love Kyler Murray so much. His scores are always so damn high, and he's just been... Last year he was really average, in my opinion. Just, I don't know. Since he had the knee injury, he doesn't really seem to have hasn't had the rushing upside that he had before it. And I get this is probably coming from the Marvin Harrison side of the argument too. I'll tell you now, if Marvin doesn't do something by mid-season, he won't be on my roster, and I don't really care how it happens. I'll cut him if I have to. I'd rather not even have the option sitting on my roster if he can't play. So, I'm going to lean to Spirit here. Actually, I'm going to lean to Spirit to keep his streak alive. Oh, man, it's so frustrating, this camera. Check. Yeah. So I'm going to lean to Spirit to keep the 100% record intact. Take it to 6-0 up against the Paddy and the Packers. But yeah, once again, who knows? I'm going to leave him with history there. History says a win for Spirit. So, I don't know where I'm at time-wise on this. There it is. Yeah, all right. No, I'm not doing any. It's hard to tell how long I've been going because of how everything's dropped in and out on me. So, what I was going to do was just touch on a few matchups here. Some interesting matchups here for the first week, and the NFL always loves to throw some good rivalry games or some interesting matchups out there in week one. The Chiefs and Chargers game, which I think, where is that getting played? That's getting played. It's not at LA. I know it's not. It's in. It's like Brazil or something like that. I don't know where it is. I know it's not in. It's definitely not in Los Angeles. Where are they playing that game? Where are we? I know they played in Brazil last year. I just can't remember exactly where they're playing this year. You guys probably do. Good on you. Holy Christ, this is going slow. Schedule. Where? Oh, fuck me dead. You wouldn't think this would be that hard to find. Wherever that is. Arena Corinthians. That was real helpful. Thanks, clowns. Does anyone know where Arena Corinthians is? Oh. Sao Paulo. There you go. This is in fucking Brazil. I should have just trusted what I thought to start with. Arena Corinthians. Freak me dead. I actually rate the Chargers. I rate the Chargers a chance to actually win the division over the Chiefs this year. Obviously, that would have felt a better prediction before Rashawn Slater went down. Having to put your third tackle in as well. I actually think they're putting Joe Alt at left tackle, and Trey Pipkin, is that his name? I think that's who it is. I think he's going to play right tackle. I like the Chargers. I like Harbaugh as a coach, and Harbaugh's had an entire off season to try and work out a way to master the Chiefs. I rate them a solid chance to win this week. And at 242, they're probably look. It's not amazing odds or anything, but they're definitely a chance. I mean, the two LA teams don't really have a home field advantage anyway. The LA fans are pretty average for the most part, so But yeah, I definitely rate the Chargers a chance to win this game. But I think they're a strong team for this season. I thought this Giants and Commanders game might be better than it looks on paper. It will be interesting to see if the Commanders regress from last season. And the Giants, I think, are better than most think they are. They're going to have a really strong pass rush. I think the defense has improved significantly. It'll be interesting to see if their offense can generate much outside of Malik Neighbours. Russ can throw the ball downfield a bit when he wants to. Whether he, who knows what he is at this point. And Jackson Dart actually looked pretty solid. So it'll be interesting to see how long Russ hangs on to the job for, and what Dart can do if he actually gets a chance. So 321 for the Giants. Oh, look, weird shit happens in week one. It always does. 321 for the Giants. You'd probably want a little better odds to have a crack at it. Sort of in that $4 range. You'd probably. I'd actually say it was worth a sneaky little tenner or something. But yeah. I'm actually interested in this next game here. The Panthers and Jaguars. I think both teams will be much improved from where they were last year. I think Liam Cohen will make an enormous difference for Jacksonville. I think he'll make an enormous difference to Trevor Lawrence. Otherwise, Trevor Lawrence is out the gate. He just has not been good enough. I think they've got a really good group of receivers around him. Their top three receivers are great. Between Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, and Christian Kirk, there is no excuses at all for Trevor Lawrence anymore. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't perform this season, he's done. In my opinion, he'd still get a gig in the NFL, but he's definitely not going to ever be considered in the upper echelon again. But the Panthers are. I thought the Panthers were a decent chance to start winning some games this year. I actually had them. I think I took them to win the division. I did see Ike Kwanu is out for them, who's their left tackle. Apparently he had a emergency appendectomy. So losing him and losing Jalen Coker aren't the best things to happen for them. Whether Xavier Legette can actually deliver on some potential he's possibly shown, I don't know. I like Tet McMillan, or Teteroa McMillan, doesn't want to be called Tet. Yeah, but I think it'll be a good game, but I actually think Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville will win this. Just a couple of issues there for the Panthers, which might hinder them early on in the season. Steelers against the Jets. Yeah, whatever. The whole Aaron Rodgers bullshit. Steelers will win. Jets are shit. Pretty much. Raiders Patriots would be a good game. It'd be very interesting to see how both of those teams go, actually. I think they'll both be much improved. Saints and Cardinals. This was my I was talking about the in one of my fail podcasts. I was talking about our potential what's the name, survivor picks this week. It'll be interesting to see how many people are got the balls to throw the Cardinals out there as their survivor pick this week. Because I can see a lot of people following the New Orleans train and basically just going, fucking just pick whatever the Saints are playing because they're not going to win many games. It's just one of those games where upsets happen, man. And look, the Cards are a solid team, but shit, they are really, really tough to try and rely on a win from. So, yeah, I wasn't actually hoping to talk about every single game. I just wanted to touch on a few of them. 49ers Seahawks will be an interesting game just to see if the 49ers last year was a bit of an aberration or whether it's what the 49ers are at this point. They're pretty dinged up coming in. I don't think either. Well, Ayuk's definitely not playing. I don't know if Jawan Jennings is or not. So that gives us Ricky Pearsall and something with George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. So it's not hard to tell where the workload's going to go. Kittle and McCaffrey probably will get a absolute crap ton to start off with. And this is Seattle's chance to get a bit of a quick start. See how Darnold goes away from Kevin O'Connell. At the moment, all he's been is a good quarterback for Kevin O'Connell and nowhere else. So it will be interesting to see if he can produce elsewhere. Or whether it was just a flash in the pan, 1 year wonder. Pretty decent chance it was that. Fucking camera's gone again. I'm just going to keep going, guys. Don't want to deal with it. It'll pop back up in a minute, and hopefully my audio and everything's still working. This one here, though, the Lions Packers. I'm actually surprised that the Packers are as much of a favourite as they are. I would have thought this was close to even money. $1.75 to $2.12 isn't really close to even money. Yeah, look, the Packers, they were alright last season, but the Lions were absolutely destroyed on defense. They'd lost half their defense, for God's sake. They're fully healthy right now that I know of. I don't know if I don't think they've lost anyone significant leading into the season. I think Detroit's a good bet there. This game should not be Detroit shouldn't be over $2 against the Packers. The Packers have got to prove that they are in the upper echelon of teams in the league. Detroit have already proven that the last two seasons. And Jordan Love has to show that his first season as a starter isn't just a fluke, basically. Yeah. Because he was terrible last season. I don't know. I'm obviously showing my hand that I'd tip the Lions head to head, and I don't think the Packers have shown anything. Yeah, they made the trade for Micah, but unless they can move the ball on offense and Jordan Love can get away from making absolutely stupid mistakes in games, they're not beating the Lions. I don't know. That's how I feel. Texans-Rams is a really, really good game. I rate the Rams really highly, and obviously this is all predicated on Matthew Stafford staying in one piece. Hopefully, both for my fantasy team and for the Rams. The Rams were not far away from going to a Super Bowl last year. I don't know how many people realise how close they were to beating Philly. They went into Philly in absolutely atrocious weather. So this is an LA team going into the snow. And what did they lose to Philly by 5 points or something like that? And they had a shot to win the game right at the end of the game. And we could have been talking about the Rams as Super Bowl champs last year. They got a really good young defense. Their defensive line is really good. They got a lot of really good pieces. And for a team that basically sold their soul to win a championship a couple of years back, actually, how long ago was it now? Can't even think now. 3 or 4 years probably. But they gave up every draft pick they had to get players to go towards winning that title. Well, all they've done the last couple of years is accumulate draft picks. Now, not a lot of high picks, but they actually accumulated a lot of second and third round picks, and now they're starting to reap rewards from that. And they've got a lot of good draft picks coming up in the future as well. This at least gives them a chance to possibly replace Stafford with a young quarterback in the future. If they want to go down that route, maybe they want to go after a veteran. Who knows? But this Rams team, outside of Stafford, is built to be a contender for quite a while at the moment. Obviously, we know with salary cap, free agency, blah, 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 that can change quickly. Some teams lose quite a lot of young players quickly, and the cap makes it hard to keep them, especially when you've got guys that were mid-round draft picks that all of a sudden you've got to extend and give large pay rises to. Then it just creates roster pressure. But yeah, I'm interested to see how CJ Stroud goes against what I think is a pretty damn strong Rams defense. He was not good last year. So a bounce back for him. And see how Stafford plays, whether the back's an issue. For a team that I think is ready to contend for a title. I don't know how many people agree with me there, but I had them in my top, with Stafford healthy, I had them in my top 4 or 5 teams with title aspirations for this season. Ravens, Bills, so there's probably 2 teams from the AFC, and most would argue the AFC is the strongest of the conferences. Not necessarily got the strongest team, but definitely the deeper of the 2 conferences, that's for sure. And most experts expect that the Ravens and Bills will go quite deep into the playoffs and both be up there with probably Kansas City vying for home field advantage, number 1 seed in the AFC. In my opinion, if the Ravens don't go close this season, I think they've got to make the Super Bowl this year. I really do. If they don't get there this season, their window's not closing or anything like that. They've got a lot of young players, but they can't win playoff games. Lamar, everyone wants to blow smoke up Lamar's ass for being MVP, blah, blah, blah. but you got to start winning big games. And I mean, the same could happen. The same could have been said for the other side of the ball too. But I think Josh Allen's played infinitely better in the playoffs than what Lamar Jackson has. And come at me if you like. And I said I might get some comments in the chat about this. But Lamar hasn't shown it at the biggest stage. Whereas, in my opinion, Josh Allen has and was probably a couple of times at least just unlucky, basically. So his team, he put his team in a. Well, he put the Bills in the perfect spot to win against the Chiefs. I don't know when that was now, 2 or 3 years ago. To knock the Chiefs out of the playoffs, and their defense laid an absolute egg behind it. So Anyway. In saying that, I think the Ravens are a better team. I think the Ravens are a deeper team. I think they have better pieces all the way through their team than what the Bills do, like head-to-head. I'm not saying that the Bills can't win, though. I think it'll be an extremely close game. I don't even know who I've tipped, but I just want to see the game. I want to see how that plays out. And the last game of the week, which is the Monday Night Football game in America, Tuesday here. My Bears up against the Vikes at Soldier Field. Betting's extremely close, $1.90 to $1.94. Yeah, look, you couldn't say anything here confidently. Brand new coaching staff in Chicago. See if Ben Johnson can unlock Caleb Williams. And brand new quarterback in Minnesota that hasn't played a snap of NFL football yet, in JJ McCarthy. Missed his entire rookie season with a knee injury. How's he going to go? What's he like? Is he good? Who knows? So no one's seen anything from these guys yet. Most would believe that McCarthy will go well because Kevin O'Connell has worked wonders with most quarterbacks he's had the opportunity to put his hands on between Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold. Now, keep in mind, Sam Darnold had basically done nothing in the NFL up to that point, and he basically turned him into one of the better quarterbacks in the NFC last season. Can he do the same with McCarthy? And so I've got to imagine this was a player he handpicked. McCarthy's a smart quarterback. Really, it'll be a really interesting game. Minnesota's pass rush looks ridiculous, and it will be. Flores likes to bring pressure. He'll be blitzing. There'll be 5 to 6 people coming every snap. And that line between, look, you got, I'm having a mind blank. Jonathan Grenard, you got Van Ginkel, Dallas Turner, who they've been raving about, who's going to eat into somebody's snaps there. Then you got inside, you got Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargroves, and I can't think of the other DT. They got another DT there as well. Yeah, man, that Minnesota pass rush is going to be difficult for all teams to deal with. The Bears might get lucky. They've upgraded the interior of the offensive line, but yeah, definitely, I'm looking forward to that game as well. As I should be, Bears fan. First game of the season. If you're not hyped for the first game of the season, then who knows? Probably going to be a long one. It might be a long one after the first game. We'll see. So hopefully hopefully Caleb can have a good game. And then the Chicago media might pull their head out of their ass and leave him alone for a while. So they're brutal. If this game doesn't go well, Ben Johnson's team comes out and doesn't perform particularly well on offense, Caleb doesn't play a particularly good game, then the Chicago media, you won't be able to shut them up. They will fucking yap for ages. Anyway, guys, I know the camera's frozen and that on me a few times. I'm just, I can't do much about it. But it looks like the audio's continued through, so I'm just going to launch it this way. Best of luck to everyone this week. Hopefully we can all avoid the dreaded injury bug. And if you guys are playing the NFL Super Coach, I know Dave put up a link to his league that he was putting up the other day. If you're in one, you can join, I think up to 20 or 25 or something like that. It's the same team all the way through, so you don't even have to alter your team. It's just a salary cap type deal. Pick your players, basically like NRL Supercoach and AFL and EPL and so forth. But yeah, once again, don't forget your tips. Don't forget your Survivor. Best of British luck to everybody. See you all next week.